Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2022, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your final post-match analysis video of the 21-22 season for yesterday's 1-0 defeat on the road against already promoted Bournemouth. Unfortunately, the playoffs was not to be, but it's been a brilliant turnaround in the second half of the season and a brilliant day out yesterday on the South Coast. As always, let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that the gaffer picked to start the match. Okay, so first and foremost, a brilliant weekend. I know it wasn't a beat. I wasn't expecting us to make the playoffs. I actually said in my pre-match we'd lose 2-1, that we'd push forward and get caught on a break. That did happen, but we only lost 1-0. But look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That should have been a nothing game yesterday. And we've gone down there. Personally, I went down there off the cuff Friday night. I picked my boy up from school. The O'Maras were already down there, staying in a hotel. And I said to my boy, we're going to go home and sit indoors and then just drive down in the morning early, or we might just go down now. Stayed in a 40 Tower style hotel, had a good night, watched the Sheffield Wednesday game, Sunderland, and then got up the next day, had a few beers, went to the ground, just meeting randoms, and just brilliant really, just a great weekend. Always random the away days with Millwall. And as I said, that should have been a nothing game. If you would have said at Christmas, I might have said we was in a relegation fight down there, but if you would have said at Christmas, Bournemouth away last season, we probably would have took 300-400, maybe a bit more because it's going into the summer and it's, the final day. But what was there yesterday, you wouldn't have expected it. The noise was brilliant from our fans. I won't go into detail, but if you didn't have a ticket, you would have definitely got in if you'd gone down there. You definitely would have got in. That's all I'm saying. But look, our fans are well behaved on the day. Our fans are impeccable. The stewards and the police just let us get on with it, really. And for that reason, we was well behaved, like we always are. Was in fucking jovial mood, brilliant. I was just at full time was just giving it to the Bournemouth fans the whole game. They're obviously trying to give it back in their 2s and 3s, but at full time when it come over the tannoy, don't you know, pump it up. Our fans decided to change the words to "don't you know, pump it up." Millwall fucked it up, and at that point the Bournemouth fans were loving it and clapping us. But look, we didn't fuck it up. It wasn't ours in the first place. And listen, people keep reflecting on, this game, it was that game, it was Jake Cooper's own goal at Luton, it was the fucking wrong team at this game, we should have beat Swansea. You can't say that. All teams in this division can say that, okay? And you can't pinpoint 2 or 3 games. The league table does not lie. We finished 6 points behind Luton Town, and there's a fucking massive wasp in here, that we are a bit short this season. So, it is what it is, but, least of all me would have expected us to get where we got to yesterday. And yes, I wanted the manager out, and I always cover this, but when he needs praise, I'll praise him. Yesterday we go into that game, and I can't really argue with it. You've seen the starting 11. I maybe would have started Jeb Wallace, but I think there's obviously more to that, which I'll get onto later, and we already know that he's going to be leaving the club. Other than that, it was fine with me. Bennett and Burke have been good lately. They didn't turn up, either of those boys. I don't know why, but they just didn't have it in them. Bradshaw being left out is arguable, but of course, Benicofo is our top goal scorer. So the only issue, I had was maybe those ones. But as you know, competition for places, he goes where he wants to go with. You don't see what's going on in training. There was one, by the way. Murray Wallace came off at half-time, in case you don't know. I'm not sure if they put it out yet, but he was injured. They didn't think he was going to play the game. I knew that before going into the game. But yeah, he was injured. So that's why he's come off at half-time. And Keith Bell's come on. For me, Keith Bell served a purpose when he first came to the club. Loved him when he did, but I think he's out of contract, and I think he's going to be leaving the club. His first touch makes his second one a tackle. It's just not very good, is he? But he come on for that purpose. It was either that or George Evans. I don't know if he was on the bench yesterday, Evans, but I don't like him either. So I've got no qualms with yesterday. And people thinking we're going to go down there and roll Bournemouth 2-3-0. It's not going to happen. Some terrible shouts going on around me from our fans, and just clueless, really. No disrespect. But people say, they're taking the piss off. Why are we letting them do this to us? They're playing with the team that needs to win. Well, they've just fucking been promoted. They've been in the Championship 1 season. They're going back up. They spent a fucking fortune in the window on Kiefer Moore, Jamal Lowe, Todd Cantwell, amongst others. That's going to happen. They're full of confidence. They've got nothing to lose. They can enjoy their day. The pressure's off. So we was never going to go there and do what we did. I think Gary Rowett got it absolutely spot on. I imagine, I don't know, that his team talk would have been, right, look, do what we do. Do what we do at most away games. Do what we do at home games. We go, we consolidate, we compact, we suss the other team out, and then in the second half, we'll make our move, we'll go for it, we'll try and nick something last 20 from a set piece. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened in the game. Okay, we was on the back foot a bit in the first half. They kept breaking lines and they kept beating the press as well, which was allowing them to flow forward. A couple of balls over the top, the one that Bart saves from Solanke, he was about 3 yards onside. He was about 3, people around me go, it's fucking offside. Now, granted, I'm not one of these people that likes to complain about a ref or a linesman. The linesman in the first half, especially far side, he was horrendous. But look, we are where we are for a reason. If you're good enough, the referee and the linesman won't matter. Okay? But I don't like to be one of these spawny people that goes on and bangs on about fucking refs. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. But yesterday, the ref and the linesman were fucking really bad. Really bad. And I'm not saying that's why we didn't make the playoffs. And I'm saying that's why we didn't win the game. Because it wasn't. Because Bournemouth are a good side. They're better than us. We looked out of steam. It was always going to be an uphill struggle. We lose the game 1-0. And listen, that's absolutely... There's no disgrace in that. No disgrace in that at all. Middlesbrough could have got in the playoffs, went away to Preston and fucking got hammered 4-1. In the end, it was all academic because Luton beat Reading. The goal's an absolute fucking joke goal, but wouldn't have mattered anyway because if that goal hadn't gone in, they would have drawn 0-0 and still finished 4 points above us. So ifs, buts and maybes, sorry, don't buy into it. We just wasn't good enough at the end of the day. Second half, we did do what I said. We came forward. Nothing really happened in the first half for us at all, other than Sean Hutchinson, love you, skipper, but how you've got in the team of the week, I fucking do not know. Someone hasn't watched that game and just put your name forward because you was shocking yesterday. You kept kicking the ball off the pitch, and he's the chance, the header from the corner. That's where you've got to make your opportunities count. Free header in the first half from a corner, 7-8 yards out, exit over, don't even hit the target, and that's our chance. That goes in, different ball game. We're dancing in the streets, saying it's a Gary Rowett masterclass. So, it's very fine margins, and we weren't going to get many chances yesterday. That was our own one in the first half. Second half, we did what I said. Jed come on, shot from distance, unchallenged, could have done better. Ollie Burke rolled one into the keeper. There was other chances. George Saville goes down at one point. I think Aphobia another. Possible penalties. But look, even if we win the game, even if we do go and do what a lot of you wanted us to do and thought we should have done and thought we would have done, 3-4-0, we still wouldn't have made the playoffs. So it doesn't matter. You can't pin it on that one game and say that Rowett was too negative. He is negative. I've learned to live with it. But I don't care because, we're safe and we've had a good second half of the season. And I've had excitement and I've had my money's worth. Will he be here next season? That's another question and it's another video for another day. And I will touch on it briefly. I wanted him out. We know that. I thought he was very boring under him, very dull. We had no creativity. We used to cower from teams. That flipped around in the second half of the season. And we've done really well. And fair play to him. But because he's done so well, I don't think he's going to want to be here next season. The contract's on the table as far as I'm aware, and he hasn't signed it. Apparently, people saying he's put himself forward for this job and that. And look, he's played his whole career in the game and managed his whole career, about 3 hours north of here. So he's not going to want to be here long term. He's been here 3 years. This was his 3-year plan. He said he gets into the playoffs. He hasn't. I'm not moaning about that or where we finished. But what I'll tell you this, it's not at a point where Neil Harris left it. By the way, Blackburn ended up finishing above us as well, and I don't know how. But we finished 9th. We actually finished 8th one season under Neil Harris, okay? And when Neil Harris left the club, he left when he just bought 8 or 9 new players. They were Millwall players, full-time players. We are going to have no players left. This wasn't a rebuild. This was not a rebuild from Rowett. This was a dress-up. And I'm not slagging him off at all. I'm just saying, look at the facts. We've got Ojo, Freeman, Ballard, Aphobia, and Burke, all on loan, all going back. Out of contract, you've got Keithden Bell, you've got Jed Wallace, you've got George Evans, I believe, you've got Marlon Romeo who's going to come back and not be at the club, and someone else, I can't even think off the top of my head. So you've got about 10 players there that are going to go. You may get Aphobia back full time, you may not, we may go after Burke, we may not, but you've got 10 players that are going to go back, there's not going to be at the club. So we've got to now, it wasn't a rebuild, it was a dress-up, as I've said. We've got to completely rebuild the squad again, potentially with a new manager. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in the summer. That one at the end I'll talk about as well. Say Jed Wallace leaving the club, comes over, blowing kisses to the fans that he's leaving the club. He's leaving the club. It wouldn't surprise me if he went to a Bournemouth or someone like that. I don't know. I think he wants to stab at the Premier League. He said he wanted to get there with Millwall. He's been a fantastic servant for us. And I've got no fucking issues with him going and doing his thing. He's got a phenomenal record for us. 200-something appearances, 40-odd assists, 40-odd goals. In a team, a lot of the time that he's been struggling in, you can't odds it. Yes, he's inconsistent. Yes, he's fucking a bit haphazard at times. There's an old term I've not used for a long, long time, if ever. But he's been brilliant for us. And he's always given it his all. He frustrates the fuck out of me at times when he goes down the fucking wing and kicks it, literally aims it at the den sign behind the goal and just kicks it straight into the seats. But he's our main man. He's our Sally's man. He's got that moment of brilliance. And he will go on to a bigger club. And hopefully, I do hope he does better things. Fair play to him. But yeah, look, that is another video for another day. That's your post-match analysis done. It's been a bit fucking all over the place. I'm still on cloud 9 from meeting Hasbully yesterday. But yeah, look, there you go. Post-match done. Season done. And we roll into the summer. It's going to be a big one. There's going to be lots going on. So I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. Plenty more content to come throughout. Bosh, so that's your lot for the final post-match analysis of the season. As I said, look, another memorable season. I hated route of points because we didn't have those memorable times. But we've had some great away days, some great home days now at the back end of this season. And, you know, I'm going to say now, I think he's going to leave the club. If he stays, then I've got no issue with that. But we need to invest. We need money to come in. We can't keep relying on loanees. You know, I think if Rowett leaves now, who did he actually bring in on permanent to the club? Bennett and Malone. Other than that, I think they're all Neil Harris players. Bart, Neil Harris player. Cooper, Hutchinson, Murray Wallace, Danny Mack, youth products. Billy Mitchell, youth product. Jules Saville, okay, brought back to the club, but he's already here. Tom Bradshaw, Neil Harris player. They're all Neil Harris players. Tyler Bury. So, you know, look at the bigger picture. I've got no issue with him staying. But please believe me, this was not a rebuild. It was a throw together what you can and get the results. And he's done that. And I appreciate it and I respect what he's done in the second half of the season. But there's a lot of work to do in the summer. Anyway, I'm rambling. As I said, loads of podcasts, loads of live shows, season roundups. I'll get the boys on for a podcast. I'll do something with Benjamin Bloom as well, hopefully, throughout the summer. There'll be loads of Lions Lounges. And that's your lot. Please subscribe to Lions TV, everyone. Cheers. Enjoy your Sunday. Come on, you Lions.